Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well, and I appreciate everybody who showed up for the live stream and everybody who comes by after the live stream to see what's going on. And everything that's going on. Once again, we have the reflection pool becoming a matter of national interest, and now it's intrigue in my book. What is this all about? Why did Judge Pirro do a backflip? What's the story about that? And she was publicly rebuked by Donald J. Trump. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's going on in Iran. What is a gravity, B-O-M-B? I think we've set off a couple. And we'll talk about that. It always seems to be a ceasefire or a temporary pause after these things apparently go off. But anyway, what do? I play videos to give people time to come in, settle in, get a cup of coffee, a nice cold bruja, or a adult beverage of their choice. And if you're new to the program, watch my intro videos because they're interesting and they may have you think about things you haven't had presented to you in the past. So anyway, what we'll do when the videos are done, we'll be like butter and get on a roll. Ha ha.
Corralled into this box and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that's the sun.
The most white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before Mitt Romney and all of their children, who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky. With big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You wanna play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. You wanna play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Take care of it. We shall. How is everyone doing tonight? What are we going to talk about? You see on the screen there. Helps keep me lined up with what we got on the stove simmering. So, yeah, I didn't mention in the beginning, RFK, he had a little showdown with Dana Bash. Why the long face, Dana? But anyway, I appreciate everybody's come aboard. And if you're new to the channel, stick with me. And if there is a liberal out there, I'm not going to make fun of you right now. Maybe later. But doesn't the issues that you see just in these intro videos concern you? About money laundering in Ukraine, biolabs, all the things that I just played. Why the reflection pool? When we got humanity at stake, our way of life, your individual freedoms, why doesn't that matter more than the reflection pool? I'm just wondering. But anyway, Darla, how you doing? Sissy, Todd, Tammy, nice to see you. Robin's here. Tammy's here. Melinda's here. Elva. There's Wayne. Thank you for going by. Buy me a coffee, Wayne. That always helps me pick up my step a little bit to go live when somebody stops by. Buy me a coffee. So, hi, Todd. How you doing? Let's see. All right. Let me see. Who else is here? We had a crowd. Some of them pop in and pop out. Oh, I'd hate to be these types that got a loose screw stuff in their heads and all crazy and excited all the time. Johnny, how you doing? Probably drive their relatives nuts. And they want sensationalism. Cole's here. They want sensationalism, and you don't get that here. But I tell you what's happening is sensational enough. Kathy, nice to see you. Sherry's here. Who else is here? I'm looking for some other. Roland, nice to see you. Let's see. Flannel cheese. Ha ha ha. Good to see you. And if after the broadcast you're watching and you don't want to see the salutations, you can always hit the fast forward button if you want to. But hey, you never know. You might want to subscribe. Hi, Colette. And hit the notification bell and be part of the chats. What do I know? I don't know. It's up to you. It's all up to you. Like giving me a thumbs up. It's all up to you. Every now and then I put up little things like this for your Meta page. And oh, by the way, speaking of Meta, also known as Facebook, they had that Spanish invasion was coordinated in large part on Meta. I'll put up a thing about that. But here's the situation. Gas, it's $4.50 because Trump stopped Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. It hit $5 under Biden because they printed money and ended American energy. Those are two very different problems. Remember which one you're okay with. Yeah. They would love. How come people in our own country relish the notion of gas going up, and then so they can laugh at Trump? Why do they want their own country to be harmed? Why wouldn't you want them to be successful? By the way, here's just before I went live, I got this. There you go. Going down. People say, "Oh, Trump is manipulating the market. He given Iran a reprieve." Oh, but they say worse than that. They say worse than that. In their zeal, their zeal to see Trump fail. Why they want to harm their own country, I've got no idea. But I took screenshots of a couple of crazy things they put up. Now they're reviving the taco thing. Trump always chickens out. Why? Because he didn't blow them the hell out of the water? Here's mine as trash pail. They do a cheesy little Photoshop of a white flag in Trump's hands. Trump just did it again with an 11 p.m. post. So they all go crazy. Trump chickened out. What the hell's wrong with your brains? Trump has always been anti-war, but when he decides to do it, he makes no bones about it. Here's some other liberal madness. Well, now, why is my screen freezing up? I don't need that. Come on, screen. There we go. Trump said he's canceling the planned attacks on Iran. Help me out here. Where have I heard that before? Isn't it Taco on Tuesday? This is a foreign post, okay? Because, American vernacular, they can't, you can tell when they're from overseas in the UK, either Australia or Britain. Isn't it Taco on Tuesday? And putting the lowercase for Trump instead of capital. Just little childish things like that. So, this person probably doesn't count because they want us to keep financing their free health care overseas where, hey, for free, they'll euthanize you for a toothache, okay? For free. Yeah, but we've been paying for all that crap, and they want to keep it going, and we're not going to keep it going anymore. We're not going to keep defending you clowns anymore. Sparky, how you doing? Miss Menderson, nice to see you. Who else snuck in here? I don't know. I'm just checking the chats. I let it go by for a little bit and didn't check them. But anyway, what is your all's take on this reflection pool business? Weren't you kind of taken aback Well, I'll just put some of these posts up here with... within minutes, they got to put up something. The president has said he agreed to request from Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to cancel the attack, citing progress in talks. So I got a little video of him on Air Force One. And he's talking about, there's some people that want me to blow the hell out of them and get it over with. Some people, others don't. Let me see here. Here it is. Here it is. It's kind of hard to hear, but you can hear it. Oh, my goodness. I got a little bit of a lag here, and I'll cut my mic off to make sure you can hear this.
What happens now? Well, now what we're doing is we're talking to them in the form of a negotiation. It begins tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of unnecessary power, to be honest with you. It'll take many, many years to ever build it back. If it could, I don't think it would be even buildable back. So we had an attack that would be the biggest attack since World War II. And it would have been to do it. And frankly, Saudi Arabia didn't want it either. They thought that a deal is imminent. The deal is imminent, having to do with the Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization of Iran. So when I hear that, I say, well, do we want to go and be this severe? Now, there's a group of people that would like me to just do it. And there's another group of people that does not want me to do it.
Mr. President, does Iran have a deadline?
Yeah, we got a delicate dance going on. A delicate dance. And if there aren't attacks on ships and oil is moving smoothly and they say they're willing to talk, well, of course he's going to try to work something out. But people are going crazy over posts like this. Well, this is in response, a supposedly Iranian response to Trump's posts. The USA is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran at levels of military terror, strength, and power not seen since World War II. Think about that, folks. What have we not done since World War II? We launched cruise missiles which didn't even exist during World War II. We've done everything you can think of. What hasn't been done since World War II? Think about it for a second. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack, that the parameters of a deal have been agreed to. This would include immediate, complete, and total opening of the Hormuz Strait. On this request, I've agreed to stop future benefit of the world and likewise the survival and the successful and prosperous Iran to cancel the attack, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. Rapido. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. Get to work, everybody. Get it done. Thank you for your attention. Matter, President Donald J. Trump. So I have that separate in the studio, but I figured it's up here. I'll go ahead and read it. Let me see what kind of guesses we have from the question I asked earlier. We've got nuclear subs running around. Didn't have that in World War II. We've got jets that we didn't have in World War II doing bombings. We've got stealth bombers. We didn't have that during World War II. We've used everything except in this conflict, tanks. But everything that, what have we not seen since World War II? Come on, folks. Thinking caps. Lily, nice to see you. So anyway, this is the response. It's supposed to have gone viral by Iran. And people are mocking Trump on the left. They're, of course, always, right? Because Iran put out a smart aleck comment. You know, you're locked and loaded with bluff. You know exactly what would happen to the region if you actually tried. You still can't pass the Strait of Hormuz, yet you keep listing full opening of the strait as a condition in your latest delusional deal. Maybe ask CENTCOM for a briefing. They post every day that it's open. And one more thing. Are you sure Iran asked you not to attack? Check the number. Iran's country code is +98. Very good, Roland. You got it right on the, hit the nail on the head. And that has to do with the gravity bomb. It's been disclosed but not reported. What the gravity bomb is, also known as a burrowing bomb. I'll get to that in a minute. But remember, I showed you all 2 separate instances where half the side of a mountain was blown apart, right? Remember that. And each time, the following day, there was a cessation of attacks on ships. Apparently, the first time, they thought, well, that's what happened in Japan. After the first one was dropped, they kept going, and then we did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then after the second one, they said, okay. So, what should people who don't like Trump or whatever, what are they missing about this post? That they're supposed to be from Iran, right? Saying this stuff. I tell you, they're dense. They're blinded by their enmity, not just for Trump. It's been drilled into their heads through the education system, which is a disgrace. Iran embassy in Kenya. What a joke. That they had another one come out. Iran's official response. What, you guys move your government to Kenya? Keep it up. I don't think Kenyans will be putting up with your rear ends for long. Okay, look how much trouble's happened in Africa because of ISIS and all these other whack job. I got to watch my phraseology, but radical, okay, Islam. Okay. So keep it up from Kenya. What's the country code in Kenya? The anonymous, should I say, put it that way? Well, I won't say anything. I'll just say from Kenya. So, yeah, think about that, liberals. They're in some third world African country sending out messages to President Trump, trying to mock President Trump. And you all take it seriously and think it's some kind of big exclamation. +98, what is it? It's the, if you're going to use a phone, if you Mexico, Germany, each country has a different country code you press in your phone to get into their telephone system for that country. So that's what I'm joking back at them. What's the country code for Kenya? So we can call you Mr. Atomic Mullah or whoever you are in Kenya. You in a bunker there? So anyway, why do these liberals root for the enemy? Why? I told you I lost friends just by saying Trump's not that bad. And then boom, they're gone. And it's so confusing, especially to people at a much more mature age. We ain't old, we're mature, damn it. Because we grew up with stuff like this. Margaret Thatcher. She knew over a half a century ago. And before that, conservatives have always said that communism is a evil notion that's promulgated by the wealthy class, the people that are in control of tyrannical societies. They push it out there and get poor people, lower class people, uneducated people to be their foot soldiers in keeping the rest of society down, or to strip them of their wealth and property so they'll own nothing and be happy, right? But anyway, communism was never a revolution from the bottom. Communism was an intellectual idea by not very good intellectuals. They think they're so smart. And an example, who is this guy? Maybe his dim-witted brain will start working. I'm trying to find his name before I play it. I'll just play it. I ain't worried about it. His name. Scott Galloway is upset about being doxxed after he supported Mamdani's pied-à-terre tax. Remember I put that in one of my top. What the hell's pied-à-terre? We're not running some kind of French system of government. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turned it into a wanted poster. Hey, you asked for it, buddy. And what do we say? They're going to go right after the supporters first because they don't want any competition. Once they get control, people like you will get crushed. Because and how do you make sure that you won't fight back when you realize you've been duped? Well, they'll make you very weak if you even survive.
And I've been doxxed.
You've been doxxed? What? Tell me.
So release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might. I came out in favor of this tax. This is the definition. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street, and then publish the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing that?
You idiot. A legitimate source of revenue. An arbitrary point in life where people like Mamdani say, you have enough, so we're going to start taking what you've earned because we think you've had enough. You've earned enough. You have more than others, and you call that legitimate. It's a criminal confiscatory system. And let me tell you, every single one, from Lenin, Mao, every communist government in between, when they get control of the political situation and the military, the first thing they do is take care of people like you, buddy. the intellectuals, the eggheads, the rah, useful idiots. Because you know what you're doing right now, buddy? You're talking bad about the great leader, the dear leader. When you start realizing your ox is, they'll take care of you first. You and your ilk. That's the thing they don't understand. That's the thing they don't, but it's starting to dawn on them. But where the hell do you get off saying that redistribution of wealth and confiscation of assets through taxation is a legitimate source of revenue? It's theft, you dumbass. And you know what? How do they know whether what you're doing with that property you own? What I always say about commies? They're nosy. You know why they're nosy? Because they're afraid somebody's going to have a little more fun out of life than they are. And they want to make sure that never happens. The spirit of Cain, okay? So that's why privacy is so important. To keep the nosy commies out of your business. Here's something else for your meta page. A government that puts foreigners above their own people is, by definition, treasonous and illegitimate. Very true. You know, where's that thing about Facebook being behind, being involved, I'll put it that way. With the, here you go. With the invasion of Spain. There you go. Who's that? George Soros' son, Alexander, whatever his name is, and the Prime Minister of Spain. I wonder, what kind of machines they used over in Spain for their elections. I don't know, just curious. Christina Guay put this up. The invasion was meticulously planned online with groups of more than 230,000 people openly sharing routes, maps, gear, tips, phone numbers, and calls to cross together. Let's have a border crossing party. All 5 major Facebook groups coordinating the mass invasion of Ceuta, Spain, have been shut down. This comes after Socialist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez gave mass amnesty to hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, with experts saying the number reached 1 million. Boy, you talk about job security. Make sure you get reelected. Just bring foreigners in, and they'll vote for you. Sanchez has been publicly praised by George Soros' son, Alexander Soros, who leads name in itself should have that organization designated as an international criminal organization. Okay? Open society means open borders. It means inviting invasions into other countries. Okay? Soros has hosted and financed progressive campaigns involving the Spanish Prime Minister and endorsed Sanchez's leadership, saying it was worth copying elsewhere. Oh, yeah. Just let the whole world become a hodgepodge of shite hole countries, all mixed together, where they can break in people's homes. You saw the videos, okay? And it's so wonderful how they're smiling. They love it. Remember, George Soros said that when he was in Germany working to confiscate the wealth the property, going in people's homes after they've been drug out of their homes and either lost their lives right there in the street or taken to concentration camps, in stealing stuff out of, well, they were calling a confiscation, out of people's homes and then divvying it up. He said it was the happiest time of his life. Because that's what happened when they took over an area. They didn't knock on the door. Early in my broadcast said you haven't lived till your door breaks off the hinges, just hits the ground flat as a board, and a bunch of armed men come in. You haven't lived. You don't know fear till that happens. You don't know if the next 2 minutes you're going to be alive. Everything in your home, it's gone. They'll take it. And you'll end up somewhere, either in the ground or working at some camp. And it's happened, a broken record of history. Republicans are asking people if the invasion, socialism, and ties to Soros are starting to make sense. She's got more of that report if you want to go to her page and look it up. So it was coordinated. And I'm sure other groups besides Facebook or Meta or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a coordinated worldwide globalist tactic to force our society into accepting totalitarianism with a bow on top. You know, it's like a wonderful thing. Trump posted a ton of a ton of memes, which we'll go over those, see how our time's going here. And he reposted some that were very controversial. But, yeah, we got these lefties waking up. Is it too late? I don't know. I wasn't going to play, and I'm not going to play this. But Bill Maher takes aim at democratic socialists in a biting monologue. I wasn't going to play 9 minutes to him. Call me by your name. If you got that by your name, you know, he's rejecting it. But, hey, is it too late or what? You're going to be like this guy crying that he's being targeted by lefties is going to show up at his house. And here you got James Carville. I got somewhere in the studio. He had a quote where he's saying, to the left, just accept voter ID. Just go with it. Quit fighting voter ID. It's a losing issue. And find something else. But this here, he's talking about Hassan Piker. Look at him up there. That's Hassan Piker. He's wearing his little Chairman Mao outfit. Notice that, folks? That's what I was criticizing Zelensky about. Other leaders, they so-called leaders, they wear these little goofy uniforms. But anyway, I seen Hillary Clinton, one very similar to that. Anyway, here's Carville. He don't want to be associated with Hassan Piker.
Analyst there is, and I'm not sure what to understand what Madame is doing, but to talk about the larger Democratic Party post the election in Michigan going forward, I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy. Now, I think that a overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, you know, Jackie, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress here in the coming months. I mean, you see it in with Tucker and Martin Taylor Greene, and on the Republican side, you see it going on right now. And I can't sit here and tell you for certain how this is going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. one of us is going to lead. It might even be me.
Where are you going to go, Carville? Because we sure in the hell don't want you. We don't want either one of you. Okay? It's a party of anger, jealousy, whether it's wrapped up in a communist package or whatever the hell you think you're peddling. It's nothing but vitriol and degeneracy. So where are you going to go? Don't come around here no more. Don't come around us. We don't want you. Who's this? Election auditor says over 200,000 votes cast in New York City mayoral election are suspicious. The report claimed that there were about 228,000 votes that were cast that can be brought into question. That's almost 250,000. And the news is worried about the reflecting pool. The reflecting pool. Trump chickened out on Iran. And BS. And the lefties just gobble it right up. We'll see how they gobble it up when they get to something like this coming. In their neighborhood. This is Iran. It's worth remembering that the EU's migrant pact. Remember I said about a week ago, I said they had some kind of a migrant pact. And it came in force June 12th. And the way they of criminal migrants. So everybody's going, yay! What they don't tell you is they made people come in. Well, they're not criminals. They can stay. If you're invading the country and don't commit a crime, you just vote for some kind of third world system of government, you're okay to stay here. It means that when there's a sudden big influx of illegal migrants arriving in a country, Spain, that country can use the EU's solidarity mechanism. It obliges other EU states taking in quota migrants from that country to relieve pressure, or having to pay tens of thousands of euros for every quota migrant assigned to them they refuse to take in. A scam, a money scam, just like the climate change and carbon credit crap. Well, if you don't take these migrants, you owe tens of thousands per migrant. Oh, if you don't lower your carbon emissions, you owe us tens of thousands of dollars for every cubic carbon unit. Crap. A scam. Under the EU's Migrant Pact, which wasn't passed in a unanimous vote, but through qualified majority voting, other EU member states might be forced to take some of the thousands of illegal migrants storming Ceuta, however you say it, and Melilla today, or they might be forced to pay for them. And they were saying, oh, we're getting them all out. Yeah, they're leaving. All a lie. All BS. Where's that video of a Spanish cop? And he's got to be careful what he said, but he still gets... Let me find it. He's pretty much saying that the only thing they can do is ask nicely. Here. Spanish soldiers confirm they're not allowed to use force against illegals, meaning that all deportations so far just consisted of them asking nicely. How far do you think that's going to get? They got a free ride, man. If they claim refugee status, they get a house, they get money, they get medical care, they get everything. Here you go.
¿Tienen órdenes de hacer algo? ¿De hacer alguna acción, como el ejército que son?
De momento solamente estamos autorizados, vamos, estamos lo que es indicándole la dirección a la frontera e instándole a que sea por su propio bien. Ahora mismo no estamos autorizados.
Y ya está.
Ya le digo.
Es eso.
Lo que usted está viendo aquí. Yo más no puedo decir. Vamos, yo creo que aquí la gente...
¿Cómo es el sentir del cuerpo, del ejército? De cómo se está gestionando esto, más o menos.
Hombre, pues a mí me toca más de cerca porque yo soy de aquí y a mí pues mucha pena de lo que le están haciendo aquí a mi ciudad, pero bueno.
Vale.
Esto es ir poquito a poco y trabajar.
No, una última solo. ¿Cuántos días cree que va a durar usted aquí?
Lo siento mucho, pero es que no lo
Vale,
puedo decir.
vale. Muchas gracias, Pase buen día. Vale, gracias.
Yeah, what was I saying the other night? When you have an armed populace, they couldn't get away with this. But you can after you disarm them and shame them and saying, oh, if you don't let these people come in, you're a misogynist, a racist, a this, a that, Islamophobe, and on and on and on with the garbage. Here you go. Put this on your meta page. President Trump's wall costs less than the Obamacare website. Let that sink in. Remember the Obamacare website? They had to do it, redo. What a pig trough. What another scam. Billions of dollars going into whose pockets? I don't know. They set up a stupid website. But man, they fought tooth and nail to keep Trump from getting the money to put that wall up to keep these invaders out. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Paul, nice to see you. It's Spanish territory, Paul. Oh, okay. U.S. and Israel, Paul, don't dox yourself. Just I want to ask you, what country are you from? Don't give anything too specific. You're making some claims here that I find interesting. Sound like, what do they call them? Conspiracy theories? Or is it real? We'll have a good conversation. Anyway, so we got wishy-washiness going on. Wishy-washiness. Let me talk about this reflection pool business. Oh, you're from the U.S.? Oh, okay. So you're not a BB fan or a fan of Israel, apparently. Well, let me see. Let me see. Let me put up something Clandestine said. It is now socially acceptable to talk about how everyone involved with the creation, release of vid and the cover-up need to be X3 acuted. Is it socially acceptable to talk about that? Are we allowed to say this yet? I'm tired of being told I'm the bad guy for wanting justice for crimes against humanity. I don't think that I could have read that without messing it up and not gotten in trouble, right? So I don't think it's acceptable on the platforms to openly call. Most people have noticed that the left-wing mainstream media seem reluctant to report on Fauci or any revelations about C and Vid. Why? Because they are accomplices to this crime. I gotta watch it, against humanity. They are just as much as responsible for CVID as Fauci is. The deep state plan does not work without the MSM spreading all the fear and panic. The mainstream media played a vital role in pushing for shutdowns, justifying their election overhaul with mass mail-in ballots, and were obviously the main drivers of the psychological. What have I been saying, folks? How many times have you heard me say? Morale, okay? The biggest asset of any army, troop morale. If you're waiting for the day for the left-wing MSM to report the truth, that day is never coming. They will lie, deny, deflect, ignore, etc. to their very last breath. The truth must be disseminated by we the people. It's up to us. That's right. It's up to us. And he reposted the picture that locked in. The Straits of Gibraltar. That's really off baseball, Paul. No, it's international. All straits are freedom of navigation, open to all countries, starting with the 500 years ago. That's been an international agreement. Starting with the Magellan Strait. Straits of Magellan. So no, we don't take over straits. Even during World War II, the Straits of Gibraltar was open. So anyway, so he's putting the bad finger right on the mainstream media. Deservedly so. Now, here's a video of Fauci. You're so... Reading posts on these liberal sites. I still trust him. He is a good man. He's being targeted by Trump. The infuriating and consequential misinformation of Tony Fauci. Excellent work by Mac Orfalia. If I said that properly, I do not know. Please let me know. But I'll interrupt here and there.
CDC is change now because most of us have been walking around going to the grocery store not wearing the mask because that was the original recommendation.
Well, we have to make sure we don't forget that the most important thing is to keep this 6-foot physical distance from individuals.
However, you testified recently, and I'm quoting, this 6-foot rule sort of just appeared.
Staying 6 feet away from people.
This 6-foot rule,
staying 6 feet apart,
crippled businesses.
Maintaining 6 feet of distance
allowed students to stay at home and not learn.
So important. Maintaining distance of 6 feet or more.
Do you think that a rule that sort of just appeared is substantial justification for the regulations that we saw based on that 6-foot rule?
6 feet apart.
The CDC was responsible for those kinds of guidelines, not me.
I would recommend doing what the CDC, as I think appropriately and correctly said, staying 6 feet away. The perfect solution to this is if everyone stays 6 feet separated, 6 feet away, stay 6 feet apart, 6 feet distance, 6 foot distance, 6 feet apart, 6 feet away, 6 feet away. That's our most important tool.
It had little to do with me since I didn't make the recommendation. And I think we should just follow carefully the CDC recommendations.
We must abide by public health measures. The usual 6 feet apart.
Very important, 6 foot distance.
Stay 6 feet apart.
A 6 foot rule. It actually came from the CDC, not me.
But I would recommend 6 feet of distance.
The 6 foot rule, the social distancing, which you said sort of just appeared.
The 6 foot rule, it's almost irrelevant,
He knew what kind of havoc that was going to cause at polling stations and the havoc it caused in grocery stores. People that were adamantly pro-Fauci, pro-liberal crap that loved to see their neighbors forced to do anything. They would actually get in fistfights over 6 feet. What sense does that make? You stay 6 feet away from me or I'm going to physically grab you and attack you. They did. And how much money did businesses put in those stupid signs, plexiglass barriers, arrows on the floor? That adds up. You're talking millions and millions of dollars coming out of people's pockets, businesses' pockets, mom and pop shops, that many of them were just shut down. They couldn't even operate. Look at the look on his face. He knew this was going to be used and weaponized as a way to steal an election, is what I'm saying, too.
It's so important. The social distancing of 6 feet. 6 feet or more. 6 feet. Stay 6 feet apart. 6 feet. 6 feet apart.
The most important thing.
It's almost irrelevant.
The biggest thing.
Almost irrelevant.
The perfect solution.
Almost irrelevant.
If everyone at all times stay 6 feet separated, 6 feet away, 6 feet apart, at least 6 feet. The biggest thing.
The most important thing.
The perfect solution
is the 6 foot rule. The 6 foot rule. The 6 foot rule. There was no science behind it. There was no trial that looked at 10 versus 6 versus 3 versus not even worrying about it at all. And since there was no clinical trials going one way or the other, that's why it was accepted by the group. There was no science behind it. There was no science behind it. And that's one of the things that's, I think, such a good thing about our system here, is that we're ruled by the science. There was no science behind it.
You confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared. It is not based in science and it just appeared. If you are in science, you've got to direct what you do, what you recommend, your policies based on scientific data and evidence. And you've got to be consistent, and you've always got to be truthful to tell people what they may not like to hear.
Did you not feel an obligation for something that just sort of appeared, not to go back to the CDC and say, let's base this on what we know?
It was a
as the lead scientist at the NIH to challenge that.
It is not appropriate to be publicly challenging a sister organization.
As the lead scientist,
it is not appropriate to be truthful.
As the lead scientist,
it is not appropriate to tell people what they may not like to hear.
He's probably going to be okay because he took the fifth. Because he's facing 2 states now. I forget the second one, but Florida is going to looking at charging him, and there are other states. And don't forget what I was talking about, our international treaties. Okay, if somebody's committed a crime that against another country, we have treaties where we are obligated to extradite them or perhaps set up some kind of international court system, like we did temporarily for.
Americans now have lost their trust in science, in lead science from government because of misinformation like this on the 6-foot distance rule.
It is not appropriate. Realize that you don't know everything at any given time. This is not rocket science. We know exactly what we can do and what we should be doing.
About 100 inmates were released earlier today. It's part of an emergency rule.
The 6-foot rule.
Releasing some very violent criminals, including a cop killer out of Richmond.
6 feet away.
I don't have any choice in this. I've been ordered to do it.
Make it so that they're always 6 feet apart.
Christians were arrested for not social distancing.
6 feet or more.
All LA beaches are closed due to social distancing.
6 or more feet by at least 6 feet.
And distancing.
Physical distance, 6 feet or more.
Several businesses charged with not social distancing.
Seemingly innocent things like singing, speaking loudly, or breathing heavily.
Singing has been banned at all church services in California.
I'm so grateful for everything you've done for our country.
There was no science behind it.
Keeping 6 feet distance, 6 feet or more.
Police are arresting a dad in a park for throwing a ball.
Damn, where'd that go? Just disappeared off my screen. A part of a conspiracy, okay? Whoa, look here. Chris Cuomo's taken up for Dr. Fauci. That's what they say is in this video. Now, why would he do that? I'll play it here in just a second. I want to say hi to Bambi. Nice to see you. Somebody else came in. Sacron, the mask were for 2 things. How many would comply? Yeah, we've been over that a lot of times. Yeah, we know why. They're trying to look for their loyal, useful idiots. Jetlag, how you doing? Oh, I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to help the channel out. I appreciate stopping by. Buy me a coffee. There's my, what do you call that thing on the screen? My postage stamp. But anyway, I want to thank Wayne for stopping by today. And Mike and Bev for starting out. Where in the world is my special effects? For starting out this week. I can't get them up there. I was going to put some booms up there. I'll get them up there. Wait a minute. Mike and Bev. Let me see. God. Pow! And Wayne, kaboom, kaboom. And a special boom for Miss Mendersu for doing a Moab and a half last. We're in a new month now. Not last week, last month. And Gary for dropping his Moabs last month. So anyway, and everybody else that helped me out on my Buy Me a Coffee last month. I appreciate it. Coming out, sticking up for Ouchie. Okay, this is the puke out session where we're showing Americans just how they were duped and puking them out. And when they look at Fauci, they want to puke. Why would Chris Cuomo want to be sticking up for Fauci? I'll tell you why. Why I think he does. Because his brother, okay? The nursing homes, right? When you knowingly do some things and people lose their lives, what happens, okay?
I don't know who here needs to hear this, but if you were forced by the situation where people coming after you to plead the fifth and take everything that comes with that, what would you be doing right now? I'd be in the fetal position or hiding. Tony Fauci is seeing patients. Why? Because he's a real one. And because what they're doing, going after him, is bullshit and everybody knows it. You want to find out who started COVID? That's great. Are you saying Tony Fauci did? Are you saying America did? Then what are we talking about? If you didn't like masks, if you didn't like mandates, if you didn't like any of that, go after the administrations that were okay with it. Tony Fauci was foisted into a position because they didn't want to take the smoke. Trump did it first, and then the Biden administration. But you're just going after one 80-year-old man? This is not about the truth. It's about bullshit, and everybody sees it, and the American people still side with what they know is reasonable, and not just this bullshit. It's disgraceful what's happening.
Well, we're getting up to crunch time. Now there's finger pointing. Oh, Fauci was a fall guy. No, Fauci's the one with the scarf lady, okay, that came into Trump's office with, which Fauci admitted later on he knew were false numbers as far as how many people could lose their lives, and advised the president to shut down the entire country. They did a boogeyman tactic on Donald Trump, and now Chris Cuomo is running cover. Remember this lady? And how many doctors like her? Silenced. Republicans are telling people to never forget the draconian lockdowns and rules forced on the American people by government at the direction of unelected egomaniac that we know now lied about everything, Anthony Fauci. So it's crunch time, and what do we got? We got mealy-mouthed people. Is Gene Pirro being mealy-mouthed about the reflecting pool? What is this business of all of a sudden coming out saying the reports are using words like a botched installation? Was that in the filing with the DOJ where they dropped the charges? Botched? How did that, why is there that kind of a backflip? Or was that stuff typed into some press releases or even a form of filing without Pirro's approval? We've had that happen before with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We had a prosecutor who was supposed to be getting him the hell out of the country that knowingly put a poison pill in the case about saying he was wrongfully deported to El Salvador when he knew that a correct analysis of his specific situation and the timing of events that he was where he belonged. But he made it seem like there was an error or a screw up in his deportation. How long ago was that? And that prosecutor was fired. Did somebody do the same thing to Gene Pirro? Or do you think Gene Pirro did a backflip on Trump personally? Trump rejected his own DOJ's finding, blaming reflection pool issues on shoddy renovation. Shoddy. Who's using those terms? CNN. Is that your own term, CNN? Is that from a 4 a.m. talking point? Or is that in official press releases or filings by the DOJ? Or are you just putting out another pejorative or desultory comment? See how they do it? They sneak in stuff. President Donald Trump rejected Justice Department conclusion. The problems with the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool stemmed from a flawed renovation rather than vandalism. I disagree 100% with Janine Pirro, the attorney for the District of Columbia, on the reflecting pool. I don't know what she was thinking. To me, it was a pure case of vandalism. And ask yourselves, what other purpose did that person have for doing what he did? Was he need to wash his feet off? I mean, how far did he go in the pool? Why did he make contact beneath the water with the liner? And it was described as he was grabbing it with both hands. It's a leathery liner. Okay, it's not flakes of paint, a botched paint job. It's a liner that is applied that gets very tough and leathery, so much so that a grown man has to take both hands and try to rip it up from the bottom of the pool. But, now. Well, if he wasn't doing that, what was he doing? He was there without any malicious intent at all. That's what people are saying. He was there just putting his tootsies in the water and enjoying the view, right? He had no malicious intent, no mens rea to cause harm. Or to exacerbate damage. And I'm thinking too, Pirro could have just looked at the judge situation, because we were told by a senator during a hearing in Congress that he was just picking up a flake of paint floating on the water, and that he's sure a judge would make sure that this person was not going to be punished. And that was weeks ago. Did Pirro say, hey, a prosecutor has an obligation to make sure they have a very good chance of succeeding in conviction? And did she look at it and say, these judges ain't going to do it? Who came out of the woodwork to say there was anything wrong? To rise to the level to excuse this person's behavior. Maybe a reduction in his charge, but to outright throw it out, I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff we're going to learn. Is she getting mealy-mouthed? Is she turning on Donald Trump, or did somebody turn on her? Mark Wayne Mullen, is he mealy-mouthed? Remember, he threw out this business of no more traffic stops, and Trump reversed him immediately. Now he's in another hot seat. Trump DHS chief under fire from conservatives after immigration speech ignites backlash. Former Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bavino accused Mullen of undermining the administration's mass deportation agenda. Hours after speaking at the National Governors Association meeting in Oklahoma City, Mullen wrote on X, "No amnesty for illegal aliens ever." In Spain, that prime minister put out a video where he assured everyone, we're going to get all the criminal migrants out. See the game? 100,000 people come in. You don't know who they are or what their past criminality is. They could be murderers. They could be, you know the drill, all the things they could be. But they hadn't done anything here criminal. So they can stay. See how it works? But Mark Wayne Mullen's making a blanket statement, no amnesty for illegal aliens ever. We are a nation of laws. If you are illegally present in the United States of America, you will be detained and deported, period. This post did little to quell criticism from some conservatives who argue it conflicted with remarks Mullen made earlier in the day. Here he is, Mark Wayne Mullen. No more traffic stops. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we'll do traffic stops now. He addressed governors on immigration policy before facing criticism over comments about legal immigration reform. Reform. That's the word they're using now, folks. That's the word they're using, reform. Kamala Harris wants to adding justices to 13. That's called reform, not destroy, not alter. Okay? Reform. Well, some of these characters need reforming, not our system of government. Why were you at the National Governors Association summer meeting today saying the exact opposite of what you are posting now? One user wrote on X. Did you suddenly radically change your mind about America's immigration policy in the last couple of hours? Or are you a liar? Former Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bavino also criticized Mullen's remarks, writing on X that voters are asked for mass deportations, clear demand, high priority, no ambiguity. He added, the guy running the DHS is making the case for immigration reform. We've seen this script before. Barack Obama wanted to reform America. Fundamentally change America. You take that statement in context now, looking in hindsight, that was treasonous. Campaigned on treason. And won. Anyway, here's some. Hey, there's some. Oh, wait a minute! I got one more mealy mouth. One more mealy mouth. And you know, I've given these people the side eye. Okay, sometimes I get guff when I people get a little upset with me because I give certain people the side eye. I don't go in lockstep with just anybody. Well, who was I talking about a couple of weeks ago that I'm leery of? Not 100% sold. Senator John Kennedy says he'd exclude J6 rioters from anti-weaponization fund legislation. The Louisiana senator's comment come after Trump said he would push for a bill to create the fund. I've already talked about how many billions of dollars liberals get every foggy day for decades. The Justice Department doing settlement agreements with corporations, municipalities, throwing millions of dollars into the riot racket. Now, is Kennedy being finessing the words? You know, the rioters. Is he saying everybody who was hunted down and prosecuted, is he going to put them in the category? He may be sly like a fox. Okay? Because, okay, the ones who did break things, the ones who did hurt people, the ones who did act like ass, you know, they shouldn't get any money because they had poor judgment. They fell right into the enemy's hands. Or they were enemies themselves. Remember the one guy saying, hey, you let me out of jail. I voted for Obama. I'm one of you all. Remember that? Is he talking about those people or a blanket exclusion? We shall see. And we shall see about Mark Wayne Mullen. And we shall see about Judge Jeanine Pirro. Here he is. Just as happy as a pig in you-know-what. Justice for David. Charges to be dropped against former Olympian in reflecting pool case. Breaking news. The New York Times, you know they're just loving it. Here's they're using the term, saying the damage was due to, quote, botched renovations. You see the desultory word? They're using a quote. Was that used in a filing by the Justice Department? And would Jeanine Pirro do that herself, or did somebody do it and it got filed and she said, oh my God. You know, personally, they should have said, we have a duty to make sure we have enough evidence for a successful prosecution. We don't see that in this case. And leave it at that. They should have left it at that. So we'll see. Because Judge Pirro can't look at every word on every page that's going to be filed. All it takes is one subordinate who's part of the swamp. And so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Here's where Trump put up the rebuke. And he mentioned Jean Pirro by name. She's got to answer for it. Oh, no, this is locked and loaded. I told you all I had this on a different... I got Kennedy up. I'll play him now. I'll get to Trump's post in a minute. Anyway, here's Kennedy with Dana Bash. And he caught her on John Sauer in front of the Supreme Court. He has a speech difficulty, John Sauer does, which is distracting. And I talked about that in the past. But you know what? I don't think it matters with Kennedy. He's getting his point out. But, I do wish he could, keep a different cadence, a different level of consistency with his speech. But anyway, let's listen to it.
Well, during COVID, we completely dismantled our constitutional rights. We began censoring people in violation of the First Amendment.
But I'm not, you're saying what not to do. I'm asking what to do. But I want to talk about...
That's something to do. That is the number one priority. We protect the Constitution. The Constitution was written...
Forgive me, but you're talking about rights, and I'm asking about a potential public health crisis that is coming. But I do want to,
And one of the mistakes we made in the last time was suppressing those rights so people weren't being heard.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you catch that? The potential health crisis that's coming. She's talking about measles. Remember a couple months ago, I put up, about 3 or 4 months ago, I put up a post by Bill Gates. I think I put it up last year too, where he said we had to watch out for the measles. Bill Gates. So anyway, she's talking about a new. And she's, watch how he handles it.
The doctors who are saying you're doing it wrong were being marginalized and vilified.
Yeah,
and
because again, I really want to move on, but
yeah,
you were saying you were
yes, you were part of the problem.
No, I wasn't part of the problem.
There was absolute press malpractice. You weren't allowing your
Mr.
job,
Secretary,
your job is a fierce skepticism toward authority. And
yes,
you weren't doing that. You were beating up on
job
people
is also,
who were dissenting.
No. Okay, you want to sit here and attack me, or do you want to have conversations about public health?
Me.
I'm not attacking you. I'm asking questions about how to prevent the next pandemic.
Question, and I'll tell you.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're a fearmonger, okay? You create a narrative, okay? You're part of the conspiracy, okay? And you got a lot of nerve to tell Kennedy that you want to move on and he needs to stop. And you need to talk. These people should not be allowed to broadcast and call themselves a news service. They are doing a disservice. And they're trying now. They're trying now with the measles business. Here's a couple more clips I got. And he was right. She's attacking. Oh, I'm not attacking you. I'm asking questions. Now, if he throws a question back in her face, he's attacking. But she can ask questions, right? Verbal poison darts.
I am not saying that the entire way that the COVID reaction was accurate. It was a scary time, and people made mistakes. Absolutely.
You were scaring people.
Why are you saying that?
Because that was the job of CNN.
Okay.
Was to put the
stop.
chyrons up about
stop.
how many people are
We
dying.
were trying to we were listening to the leaders in this country, including the president, who had a daily press conference explaining what was going on and trying to listen.
Were you listening?
I want to talk to measles.
Actually, were you reading the
The
science
measles
yourself?
Oh, boy. You were part of it, is what Kennedy told her. You were part of it. Oh, we put the president up daily to tell us what's going on. What's going on is there's an aggressive strain of flu, and we need to protect the elderly and the chronically ill. And go on with your life and wash your hands and live your life. How many times did Trump say that? But they're fear-mongering. Hey, this is the beginning, folks. This is the beginning of accountability and laying things out for the public. And she can keep doing what she's doing all she wants, but anybody discerning is going to see right through it.
After study after study, it's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and
it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot.
So
I've actually read the science. You don't want to come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing.
There you have it. Fauci was lying about everything, about masks and social distancing. So, yeah, he's got to take the fifth. There's no way a court would punish him for not doing it because he's still in substantial jeopardy through prosecution through the states. Let me see what's going on in the chats. Hi, Judy. Yeah, why do germs and viruses stop at state borders? Yeah, anything to aggravate or to justify. You know, they all got subsidies for every poke in the arm they gave. They all got subsidies. Oh, by the way, just a little human interest thing that Donald Trump and others have posted, that today is J.D. Vance's birthday. Happy birthday, J.D. Vance. Don't you get mealy-mouthed, because we're going to call you on it if you do. You better stand. Stand with Donald J. Trump and the American people, not the counterfeit Americans. Here's one of the memes Trump put up. What's he put up? There you go. The King, Elvi. Remember Elvi? So I thought that was funny. But he put up a lot of memes. You know, it's so getting late in the broadcast, I can't put a lot of them up because I still have things to post. But he also put this up. There you go, Donald J. Trump. There you go. To all our Moroccan friends and whoever the hell else wants to come over here and try to take over, Donald Trump has a message for you. And there it is on the screen. Now, here is what is the name of this statues again? Arts of War. It's a series of statues that has the Trump put this up yesterday that have Gold leaf, 21 karat. And you sit and think about this situation with the reflecting pool. We've had decades, okay, of people in the Capitol Police. We've seen with our own eyes the caliber of many of them. Their caliber is low caliber, okay? Cronies getting jobs, cousins, friends, not the most professional force, right? Capitol Police. How did these statues get stripped of their gold leaf for decades and nobody saying a word? People turning their head. Okay, and Trump just had them re-gilded. So, I mean, significant damage. And so, yeah, you can see how people would get away with doing what they did to the reflecting pool. And not having evidence because cameras don't work, or people turn their head, or went and got a burger and left an area unattended. Who knows if they even got their palms greased? If they were scraping off 21 karat gold off these statues. Somebody got their palm greased. See what happens now. Trump put this up. What do you think the subliminal message is here? 250 years. And there you have Donald Trump melded with George Washington, the father of our country. I was going to ask that as a quiz. What were you told about George Washington ever since you were a little kid in grade school? How was George Washington described? The father of our country. Remember that? They don't teach that now. What's Trump saying? He's going to be the father of the reclamation of our nation. He also reposted this, which got international attention. Hello, Greenland. And he had a comment that made it into the international press that, yes, by the end of my term, I think we'll be looking at having control of Greenland. It is a top priority as a matter of national security. And ain't going to be a damn thing that Denmark can do about it or anybody else. Let me see. I want to put up some of those. I want to put up some posts here. There was an assassination attempt. Let me see. I believe it was in Brazil. Iran will relinquish its leading role in the Ukraine support group. Did you know there was a Ukraine support group? Did you know that we took a leading role, putting us in danger of a direct conflict with Russia? Well, guess what? Somebody else can do it. According to Politico, the leadership of the group will be transferred to another country, a NATO member. Yeah, somebody else put your head in a vice. The process of transferring authority could take up to a year, and cooperation with Kiev will not cease. Oh, it's getting cold, though. It's getting cold in that diplomacy room. Ukrainian officials told the publication they are concerned about the changes due to the potential slowdown in the supply of weapons. Well, in July, here's a recap. More than 6,000 Ukrainian drones flew toward the Moscow region in July. Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said. He also noted 780 drones were destroyed as they approached the capital. Maybe they need a reduction in weapons. I don't know. But anyway, A bomb with 1 kilogram of TNT equivalent filled with metal balls exploded at the entrance to a restaurant, media reports. The target of the explosion near Balsi Rossi in central Miami for a private event on the restaurant's terrace. The bomb was detonated remotely. As a result, a delivery person and a security officer who tried to stop her were killed. The female you-know-what-aside bomber was blown apart. Her arm was found on the road about 15 meters from the explosion site. Yeah. That's a true believer. Here's a, was this the, let me see. There's, in the background is the location. An explosion occurred at the Balsi restaurant in the Bagrandia metro station in Moscow. According to preliminary media reports, about 20 people were injured and 1 person died. A fire broke out in the building following the explosion. Dozens of ambulance and fire crews have arrived at the scene, and traffic in the area has been blocked. So, the last report I saw about it was, according to my information, there was a plan to assassinate one of the commanders of the aerospace forces. However, his relatives were the ones who died. He didn't even get injured. And the package was delivered by a woman from Central Asia. Central Asia. I don't know where that could be. Quite a few places. Here we go. Oh, that's Dan Scavino. Dan Scavino was posting a recommendation letter for Todd Blanche. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this is. Oh, this is where the Spanish residents are chasing after migrants. Well, what are they? How are they going to get out of this? You can't vote your way out of this stuff because you're going to be outnumbered at the voting booth. So what do? All right, let's see what Clandestine has to say. And I got some. I'm not in 100% agreement with this, but I'll read it anyway. Let's say the Senate GOP continue to fail the American people and they don't pass the SAVE Act. Do you think the U.S. military are just going to sit back and do nothing while domestic enemies conspire with foreign enemies to subvert our elections and the will of the people? I'm here to tell you that the U.S. military have already decided that this insurgency is over. The enemy within must be uprooted and destroyed. The decision to save this nation has already been made. Sparky, that was in that Spanish enclave that had been overrun. But anyway, before I continue reading this, clandestine's taken the position that now is the time and the hour, and that the military will make a move, and we're not going to put up with any more foolishness. I want you all to hearken back. There was a time when I was certain, I would have bet the farm, that Joe Biden would have never walked across the threshold of the White House. That it had gone far enough then. There was so much evidence. Ballot boxes being pulled out from underneath the table. A lie about a broken pipe. Videos of vans dropping off boxes from God knows where. A postal truck driver talking about how he was interstate transport, middle of the night, election night of ballots, that it was so overwhelming. I said, there's no way Joe Biden's going to get in the White House. Not if the military's got anything to say about it. And guess what happened? He went in the White House. So this is an optimistic assessment. I don't believe we're at the precipice yet. Okay? I'm just saying. But let's see what clandestine says. It's just a matter of doing so without causing too much panic and chaos. It must be surgical. We must remove the cancer without ending the life of the host. But it will be done. So, after ruminating a while on how the hell Joe Biden got in the White House and marveling at my fellow Americans' stupidity and lack of attention to detail, I came to the conclusion that we had to fight the psychological battle, and we had to win on the digital battlefield. That if there was that kind of action taken at that time, many of you have heard me say it, that this nation would have been irreparably damaged, that the fabric of the nation would be irreparably torn and irretrievable, permanently divided. And so we had to endure, and we had to fight back. We had to fight. What's different between then and now? Yes, there's people waking up, but it's not a great awakening. They're not at the precipice. Big things are going to happen, but I don't believe it's going to happen quite the way clandestine envisions it. Let me see here what we have. What do we have here? Haley Stevens, who is that? Commits to supporting Abdul El Sayed if he wins the primary. Who that? Abdul El Sayed. And just like in 2020, I marveled that people didn't see the danger. Been more shocked and amazed to see this little dried up, discredited charlatan named Al Sharpton having a bullhorn, having the stage, and people falling for what he's saying.
Commit to fully supporting Mr. El Sayed in the general if he wins this primary, even after everything has been said in this campaign.
You bet. I know of Abdul, recently said that I was the least qualified candidate in the country or something like that. And look, I am on the team, all right? And I'm going to link arms and do what's ever needed. I want to get down there too and help out on, these down ballot races in Michigan. We can flip the House, and I'm going to be standing by our Democratic nominee, whether it's me or my.
Well, it's going to be so blatant. They've got to show their rear ends. They got to show their rear ends. And it's crunch time for them. If they get thrown out, they'll never get back in. What's this? Oh, this is a video Trump put up. Let me see. Here. This is a video Trump put up. Look for yourselves at the vandalism that took place at the reflecting pool. The material is being cut with a knife or box cutter for all to see. Now, I'm going to talk while it's playing. I want to ask something else about, and I have no basis for this other than speculation. Jeanine Pirro. I wouldn't take it out of the realm of possibility that her or someone very close to her, or multiple people very close to her, had been threatened. Think about it. Amy Coney Barrett admitted in front of Congress and the world that she was intimidated, that her decisions were being influenced by this terror activity instigated by the mainstream media and whoever leaked the Roe v. Wade decision. So, was she told to do something and do it now or else? You got a nephew? You love your nephew? Well, you won't be around. Here's a picture. Who knows? We won't know till we get here's some more information from Jeanine Pirro. But anyway, yeah. This is what we see in daylight during a 3-minute video. What happened during days and nights and days and nights when there weren't cameras around, the dark of night. But it's like Trump says in his post, it's obvious with what they did with the letters 8647, just feet away from the reflecting pool. To say that nobody did anything to that pool, they just poisoned the grass with a death threat. That's all. Well, we'll see the drama play out with Mitch McConnell. I see what you're saying there. Felix. Hi, Candace Cleanup. How you doing? So anyway, we've seen partial video of this, but you can see them. What do you think they're doing? Washing their hands, doing the dishes. I mean, like I said about that character that just got off the hook today, there's no scenario that anyone rational could say that he wasn't approaching that pool and attempting to do something with malice. Tomorrow's the day for Mitch, Roland says. Hi, Stanton. Doing if they're not cutting up the pool. And anyway, that's enough of that. We've seen it. This is Fox News reporting on the Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters. So it's a mystery. Why does this guy get to walk like this?
But take a look.
June 19th, a male, blue shirt, reaches in, stays there for a little while. He goes back down, comes back up multiple times. What's he doing? Then a female, white tote bag. She reaches in, needs a better angle, sets the bag down, dives in a little deeper. And we don't know who these people are. No one was stopped or questioned by police, so no arrests. And we don't have the police report yet. But what are they doing with their hands in the pool? Are they cutting the lining? Are they peeling off the paint? Now, we don't know if they're committing a crime. They'll probably tell you they dropped their wedding ring. The Department of Interior says this, quote, in the video, you're seeing two suspects observed destroying and removing a piece of the lining and attempting destruction of the lining. This incident took place on June 19, 2026, and we are investigating. Destroying, injuring, defacing, or removing cultural or architectural resources is a federal crime.
Well, you know, it's a mystery. Are we going to hear something about what the mystery is? Anyway, folks, we got some more stuff to cover out, and I'll be going live tomorrow night. But if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live, right? Ha ha ha. Who's that on the camera? I got a video clip to play for you all that you might enjoy. It's called A Blast from the Past. Cats for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody would like to help support the channel, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not monetized on YouTube. So if you want to stop by there and see what's going on, postage stamp up there you can scan if you can't get in the chats to see the link. But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. All right, but how many of you all remember this little talk from Hillary Clinton? And I want to say to you, Hillary, what does it matter now? Whatever you were saying. What does anything you were saying matter now? But anyway, folks, you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
As to illegal aliens, we agree with you that we do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.